When you think about it, your last workout or even just the simple act of picking up your coffee this morning, what's actually making that happen? Well, it's this incredible kind of hidden machinery, our joints. So today we're going to break down exactly how these amazing structures work, from the ones that hold you steady to the ones that let you move.
I mean, it's pretty wild, right? You could do all of this and you don't even have to think about it. It's something we totally take for granted every single moment. But behind all that smooth, easy motion, there's this brilliant network of engineering connecting our whole skeleton. So, the big question is, how does it all actually work? Let's dive in and start with the very basics.
Okay, so what is a joint, really? At its simplest, it's just the spot where two or more bones come together. Super simple definition, right? But don't let that fool you. There's a whole world of complexity hiding in there, because it's how they meet that changes literally everything about the way we move.
And that brings us to our first big point. Not all joints are created equal, not even close. You can basically group them into three main tiers, and it all comes down to how much they can move, from totally rigid to, well, basically unstoppable.
All right, this table breaks it down perfectly. On one end of the spectrum, you've got your fixed or fibrous joints. Think of your skull. I mean, you don't want those bones moving around, right? They're built for protection. Then, in the middle, you have the slightly movable ones, like in your spine. That cartilage gives you just a little bit of flex. But the real superstars, and what we're going to focus on today, are these freely movable, or synovial joints. These are the ones that let us do all the cool stuff.
Okay, so let's really zoom in on these synovial joints, because calling it just a connection doesn't do it justice. This thing is a high-performance machine. Seriously, it's like a piece of precision biological engineering.
And I am not exaggerating when I say that. Just think about it. Your shoulder, your knee, your ankle, they're everywhere. They are by far the most common type of joint in your body. And pretty much every single physical thing you do, from walking to waving, depends on them.
So what's the secret sauce? What makes them work so well? Let's kind of build one from the ground up. First, you've got cartilage on the ends of the bones. This is like a soft, rubbery shock absorber, so the bones don't grind against each other. Then wrapped around that is the synovial membrane, and this thing secretes a slippery fluid. Think of it like your body's own natural engine oil, keeping everything moving smoothly. The whole thing is held together by a tough outer layer called the joint capsule, which gives it structure and protection. And finally, holding it all steady, you've got ligaments. These are like strong, stretchy ropes that connect bone to bone.
Okay, but here's a super important point that trips a lot of people up. You've heard of ligaments, but you've also heard of tendons, right? They sound similar, but they do totally different jobs. Remember, ligaments connect bone to bone, but tendons, they connect muscle to bone. They're the things that actually pull on the bones to make you move, and they work just on the outside of the joint itself. It's a key difference.
Now, even within the synovial joint family, there are different types. But for today, we're going to zero in on two of the big ones, the ball and socket joint versus the hinge joint.
And looking at these two side by side really shows you the fundamental trade-off in how joints are designed. It's kind of like a sports car versus a tank. The ball and socket joint gives you this amazing, incredible range of motion. But all that freedom means it's less stable and a bit more prone to injury. The hinge joint, on the other hand, is way more limited. It really only moves in one direction. But what you lose in movement, you gain in rock-solid stability.
So let's talk ball and socket. Your shoulder and your hip are the perfect examples. You've literally got a ball-shaped end of one bone fitting into a little cup or socket on the other. This setup is what lets you get that huge, almost 360-degree rotation. It's the reason a cricketer can bowl or a swimmer can do the butterfly stroke. These are massive, powerful movements that just wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Now, let's flip over to the hinge joint. We're talking about your knee and your elbow here. Unlike the freewheeling ball and socket, this one is all about powerful, stable movement in just one direction, back and forth, just like a door hinge. Think about the explosive power you need for a jump shot in basketball or that massive spike in volleyball. That's the hinge joint doing its thing, providing pure, stable power.
Okay, so we've gotten pretty deep into the weeds here with the mechanics, right? But why does any of this actually matter? Well, it's all about connecting this anatomy lesson back to your daily life, to your own body.
Because at the end of the day, understanding this incredible engineering isn't just for a biology exam. It's the first step to appreciating your own body. It's the key to moving better, training smarter, and taking care of the very structures that give you the freedom to, well, to do everything, to walk, run, jump, and just live your life.
So, next time you go for a walk, or throw a ball, or even just bend down to tie your shoe, maybe take a second to think about all that intricate, amazing machinery making it happen. You now know the mechanics behind the magic. So my question for you is, which one of your joints are you going to thank today?